On today's show, I'm finally going to talk about Aquaman 2 and Halo finale, all kinds of good stuff that I've been missing, and I'm sure all of you all have as well. Mike's here to give us a rabid review, and Pat... Welcome to your favorite comic book focused geek culture covering podcast, Exceller Comics. I'm sorry, Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space by Exceller Comics. Sorry, I'm extremely rusty. We've got not only a condensed show, but a condensed amount of hosts today. The only one that I'm lucky to have with me and you're lucky enough to have with us here today is Mike. What's up, Mike?
Hey, everybody. Oh, it's just you. There's a lot of room in here. Look at all this room.
Yeah. So did you like how I accidentally but purposely cut that off with my ending of the teaser there? Yeah, Pat is not with us today. He's still dealing with things. He can, give us the details of that if he wants to when he gets back. Karen is out of town, so we're going to try to have to fill in for her today too. So who knows what this show is going to look like. But you know what I guarantee, though?
What?
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because I've got so much to say because I feel like I've watched 80 things. So I've had to pick a very small amount, and then I might cheat a couple extras in because basically since we don't have Pat, we're not even going to have a collectibles on the horizon. Right. So yeah, I'm going to cheat in a couple what Kevin watched shows to make up for that time a little bit as well. If that's okay with you, Mike, if that's okay.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Fill the time.
All right. So, yeah, let's get right into it then. Did you have anything you wanted to chime in about before we get rolling?
No, it's good to be back.
All right, cool. Yeah, I totally agree. All right, Mike. First up, in my like I said, there's been so many things. I kind of tried to narrow this down. I don't want to get deep into the weeds on this, but I do want to give my final review of Halo Season 2 on Paramount Plus. Obviously it's been weeks since this has ended, but I didn't get to give my final recap, and I teased a little bit. The biggest reason I didn't want to give it yet was I've got a big question for you, Mike.
Okay.
All right, let's say hypothetically, okay, you are hating. No, I shouldn't say hate. That's a strong word. You are disliking your experience with a show, right? Mm-hmm. Up until the last 10 minutes of the final episode of a season. Okay. And this is season 2. So right. They kind of did this a little bit in season 1. So you feel like I don't know whether you can look at it like you're intentionally being toyed with or not, but it kind of feels that way a little bit. If the final 10 minutes makes the final episode pretty good and is a great lead in for the next season, what's your final verdict ultimately on a season? What would you think of that scenario?
I'd be disappointed because they wasted a lot of my time.
Okay.
With plots or whatever they're doing that I'm not enjoying, and then they try to, redeem themselves at the very end.
Yeah.
Just do good storytelling the whole way through.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. They tried to redeem themselves in the very last 10 minutes of this. And yeah, I felt I felt a little used and abused to where, and Lexi, I talk about her, she's my Halo viewing buddy, and she disliked season 2 as a whole already for different reasons than me. And similar reasons. We kind of cross over in the middle, and we got our own separate opinions on things. But at the last 10 minutes of this, we're both like looked at each other with excitement and happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And after that was over, I was just like, oh my God, man, I was ready to say, I'm not watching season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Halo's garbage. I was about ready to recommend to all Halo fans. I was easily going to recommend to all Halo fans. Don't bother. Don't waste your time. And then the last 10 minutes happened. How good is your memory of the Halo video games, Mike?
Oh, as far as the story mode goes, not very good. Okay.
Well, you obviously you remember the Covenant, which is the aliens you can see on the poster I have there, right? You remember them, right? Yep. And then do you remember the Flood?
I don't, not off the top of my head.
So the Flood are the other bad guys. So there's the Covenant, which are the aliens, and then the Flood are like, it's like this disease, or it's like this outbreak, and they become like zombies, and they're all like deformed, and and they got like 3 heads and all this crazy. It's kind of makes you put you in mind, in my opinion, of kind of the worst Resident Evil kind of characters. These really deformed zombie like things. You don't remember fighting them in the video game?
No, it depends on which one it came, because I played Halo 1 and 2, and then I can't remember what order they were, but then
they were in all of them. They were in all of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember them at all then.
Yeah, they show up at the end of the final episode.
So that's where
season 2, and oh man, it's like because and also too, and this is a Halo 3 thing, so you might not remember this at all. But then the Arbiter, which is one of the Covenant, a main character of the Covenant. He kind of he starts to move in the direction that he moves in the video game series too. So it seems like we could get the Arbiter and Master Chief together, and the Flood's here, and it's like, oh my, the possibilities of awesomeness have finally arrived.
Yeah. Well, I think since when you look at what you were disappointed in and what Lexi was disappointed in, and then you look at the demographics there, you're much older, you're male, she's younger, female, and they missed both of you.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Who did they get? The older female and the younger male audience? I mean,
maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good observation. I didn't think of that. But yeah, so man, I'm gonna have to check out season 3, but I will say this. They got 2 episodes.
Right.
And I think actually I gave the first episode of season 2 a positive review as well. So it's like they started to give us garbage at like episode 3 and beyond until the last 10 minutes of the final episode. I'm not playing around next time. I'm checking out. I am checking out as soon as it's not good anymore, because there's no reason not to. This is kind of a real obscure character, but just for the people that are familiar with Halo, Guilty Spark shows up in the finale of the final episode too, or the last 10 minutes of the finale episode as well. So that was exciting too. Guilty Spark is pretty cool little. He's that floating head robot thing. Do you remember that? No. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, Halo season 2 garbage. All you need to do is watch episode 1 and then the last 15 minutes of the finale, and you might think the season is okay if you check that much of it out. So
yeah, too bad.
I'm gonna give it a 4 overall, and it would be a 3 if it weren't for that last 10 minutes. So I'm being generous with a 4. So anyway.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, then I checked this thing out. Dream scenario with Nicolas Cage on. Oh man, I do believe this is on Apple. Man, I don't have that documented. Are you familiar with Dream scenario at all, Mike?
I'm not, but I love that poster.
Yeah, so
it's very 19. It's like 1984, 1983 layout and everything. I love it.
Yeah, it seems like it could be in that era too, because I think this is modern day, but it kind of has a Napoleon Dynamite feel with the way that where this takes place is kind of a town that's kind of still old school kind of thing. Maybe I don't know. But anyway, this kind of sells itself as a comedy, comedy drama. I don't know. I wouldn't really consider it either, but it's very interesting. Okay, here's the scenario. Oh, here's the dream scenario. Okay. Nicolas Cage shows up in everyone's dream in his town or wherever. I guess it happens everywhere. It happens everywhere because he becomes a big internet sensation, right? Like everybody just starts dreaming about him. Okay. And the weird part is he doesn't do anything in everybody's dreams. He's just there. Okay. Well, I should say at first, he doesn't do anything. He's just there. Okay. And this is obviously very interesting to everybody. And then everybody that sees him, they want to know more about him. So he becomes this very famous person from being in everyone's dreams. And it's kind of this, he actually is a writer. He wants to write a book. So he wants to use his fame that he's getting from being in everyone's dream to then sell his book. Okay. Then he starts to do things in the dream, which that's part of the thing too. He was kind of insulted that everybody's dreaming about him, and they'll have like dreams where it would be appropriate for him to do things in the dreams. But he does nothing in the dream. No matter what the scenario is, he does nothing. He just like stands there in their dreams and observes, right? And like a lady will be getting mugged, and he, it's her dream. So in the dream, if he's there, he should be saving her, right?
Right.
But he doesn't do anything. So he kind of takes this as an insult too. Like, why am I not doing anything? What do you think of me? I'm a horrible. He thinks he's kind of a horrible person because he does nothing in these scenarios where he should do something, right?
But he doesn't remember any of their dreams because he's just in them.
Right. They're
telling him. Okay.
People are just telling him. Yeah. He doesn't obviously. Yeah. There's no weird connection there. It's just them dreaming about him. Right.
I'd be mad too. It's like, no, seriously, I would have helped you.
Exactly.
Dream me.
Exactly. And then he does start to do things, but the things he starts to do are not good. Like first it starts off with some, XXX entertainment type stuff, right? Which that leads into real world. Like girls are having dreams about him. So they wanted to experience this in real life. So then that complicates things. And then he becomes a murderer. Then he becomes like Freddy,
Oh, yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street. He starts killing people in their dreams. And he's doing nothing the entire time, though. He's just existing like me and you. This is happening with everyone else, and nothing's happening with him.
Now, the things, like you kind of compared him to the Freddy thing, but things that happen in the dream, they don't happen in reality, do they?
Correct. They don't, yes.
Not like a butterfly effect thing where if he actually starts to do things in the dreams, when the people wake up, those, okay.
No, aside from there is one incident where he does kind of get caught by a young, attractive girl that wants to play out one of his dreams or one of her dreams with him. He starts to get sucked into that. He separates himself from it quickly, but aside from this one moment where he meets with this young girl that dreamt about him, he has no involvement with anybody in any way related to the dreams. It's all just happening around him, right? It's weird, right?
Yeah.
So he goes from a nobody to being super uber famous, and he's going to write a book, and everybody wants him. Everybody wants his time. Everybody wants he's the most interesting man in the world. You know, he's like that little alcohol guy.
Yeah.
Right. To then a mass murderer in everyone's dreams, but that's not reality. But everybody starts treating him like he's a mass murderer in reality because he's a mass murderer in everybody's dreams.
That's crazy.
He's done nothing wrong, right? So
that freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So he gets canceled. He loses his job. People don't even want to be in the same store that he's in, or he can't go to his kids' plays at school because the school won't allow him to be there because people are dreaming about him killing them.
Right.
It's all this. It's crazy. It is crazy.
If he like cuts his hair and shaves a beard.
Well, he's bald already, but you know, I get your point.
Yeah.
If he changes his appearance somewhere,
right? Does he change his appearance in their dreams too? So can he go into hiding?
Yeah, right. So anyway, this is a crazy ride, and you know, there are some funny parts in it, and the kind of whole thing is kind of so super crazy. It's compellingly interesting, you know. And the way it ends, I won't give that away at all. But the way it ends is it's a pretty tight. It's a tidy ending. I got no complaints. I don't know if it could have been better, but it didn't wow me. I just thought it was acceptable, kind of. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give Dream Scenario a 7. It was pretty good, nothing spectacular, and I apologize for not knowing where it's streaming. It's definitely streaming. For what is it on?
Yeah, I mean, some of these you may have to have a subscription. It's on Max, Hulu, Amazon Prime.
I guarantee I watched it on Max. Okay, yeah. So obviously you need to have a subscription, but yeah, it's free to stream on Max if you've got that. So. But yeah, Dream Scenario, Nicolas Cage, and I thought Nicolas Cage was great in it. You know, he's such a range. He's got such a range of acting. He can be anything, and he plays this old awkward nerd science teacher perfectly. You know, so
this is 2023, so it's
it's pretty new. Yeah,
very recent. Yeah.
All right, next up I have Constellation. On Apple TV. Now, this movie is similarly complicated in my mind, but for the opposite. Well, I shouldn't say it's but it's just similar to my thoughts on Halo. So, actually, you know what I'm going to compare this to, and this is what I'm starting to think that maybe is an Apple TV thing. Is you remember all my reviews of Silo on Apple TV? Do you remember how they played out?
Yeah.
I hated. And then I'm like, whoa, this finale is redonkulous. And then I changed my tune on the season, essentially.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
That pretty much nails Constellation on Apple TV. This is a very, very complex, confusing as heck show. I believe this is you can look this up while I'm talking about it too, if you would, because I'm not sure the year. I think it might actually be a 2023 show as well. But anyway, this movie takes place at the beginning in the International Space Station, and we are following. I think it's a Czechoslovakian astronaut. And basically they're trying to study. What are they trying to study? What they're trying to study is not actually related to the meat of this show. Basically, what's his name? Are you looking it up real quick? Who's the main male actor?
Jonathan Banks, James D'Arcy.
Yeah. What's his name?
He's an older guy.
Say it again.
Jonathan Banks.
Is he from Breaking Bad?
I think so. Yeah, he's older guy with glasses.
Yeah. Okay, so he's used this astronaut lady to do an experiment in space that can only be done in space, and she pulls off this experiment, and then there's an accident, of course, that the whole space station gets kind of obliterated. She's left to leave the space station. It doesn't get obliterated, but it damaged beyond repair. So she's the last one to leave the space station. All of her other buddies on the space station have already left. I'm not exactly remembering the details as to why that is. Doesn't really matter though. But she's last on the space station, aside from one dude that died during the accident. And then when she gets back to Earth, confusion and craziness happens every day with different people. And it's so hard to care. Everything seems so convoluted and confusing. It's so hard to care about anything because you don't understand the point of anything. It's very tough to wrap your mind around. But as I teased already, the finale happens. You immediately want to rewatch the season again. But anything you can remember that you kind of liked but was confused about previously all makes sense now, and everything just comes together in the finale of this show. This is the one I was saying that I guarantee that you and Emily would like a lot. You need to check this out. I think it's a total of 10 episodes, one season. And keep everything in mind that I just said the entire time. Don't check out after episode 2 because you're like, and this is trash. This makes no sense. This is horrible writing. You know, don't let Emily check out. Ride the storm. Get to the finale, and I'm telling you, it'll all be like, oh. It's like these sparks of will just go off constantly.
What do you think of that type of storytelling where, you know, you say 10 episodes, so you're basically confused and in a fog for 8 or 9 episodes, and then here's everything at once? Is it a great payoff and you like those, or do you want a little bit of the puzzle at a time and then a big piece of it?
I'm glad you asked that, Mike, because I hate that. I hate it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd hate it too. It's like, look, man, it's like you're punishing me for 9 episodes, and then you're going to say, here you go. Now it's all worthwhile. It's like, but it wasn't.
Well, first of all, let's not take it too far. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Right? I'm sure the punishment.
Right. You're being a little extreme, obviously.
Yeah.
But you know, like I said, this had the same feel of Silo. It was just kind of all over the place, confusing. Didn't seem like it was written well. So suffering is probably a little extreme too, because it's compelling. I guess this is a better way to describe it, Mike. But I guess it's compelling and interesting. Okay, but I'm mad at the end of every episode because nothing. You know, it's just confusing as heck, and you don't feel like the story's going forward. Yeah. So it's compelling and interesting, but I'm mad personally at the end of every singular episode because I'm like, what the heck, man?
Yeah, you don't want to be as confused as the characters.
Yeah. Say it again.
You don't want to be as confused as the characters are.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Right.
Every episode's like unsolved mysteries.
Right. That's a good way to put it. But like I said, I think that's the way to put it because it is suffering in the way that I'm mad at the end of every episode. And I feel like I don't like what I just watched. Right. But then I watched the next episode because it is compelling and interesting. So it's kind of, I can't think of a good analogy of there. You might be better at coming up with an analogy for that. But, you know, it's kind of like you're getting just enough to want more. So you're not hating it, but you're never satisfied. So every episode ends and you're angry because you're not satisfied yet. You know what I mean? So
I guess it's kind of like people that like to eat spicy food. I don't understand it. Oh,
yeah.
it's hot, burning. That's so good. I like it.
Right. I just want I tell that to Lexi all the time. I just want the flavor without suffering.
Right. Exactly. There you go.
Yeah. So anyway, ultimately, Constellation, I give this a solid 9.
Wow.
This is excellent. This is an excellent show with questionable style of production, I guess is a way to put it. You know, like I said, totally the same way with Silo, you know. So maybe it's an Apple TV thing, you know, that because that's an Apple TV formula, right? Yeah, because this is an Apple original, you know, and so was Silo, you know. So, did you ever finish that Silo? Anyway,
the show?
Yeah,
we caught up. Yeah,
did you? Okay. I don't think we ever talked about the. Did we? Okay,
I think so because I was really happy because what happened in the last episode tied things back to the book series.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay. All right. So anyway, check out Constellation as soon as you get an opportunity. I would love to hear everything you have to say about it. So,
all right. Well, I'm going to put it above Dream Scenario since Dream Scenario is a 7 and this is a 9.
Yeah. And I'm not sure about Dream Scenario with them. So
yeah, that's probably I'll watch that by
myself.
myself.
Maybe a Dream Scenario could be a you. And when you and them are watching, once you're done with This Is Us, you can watch Constellation.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know, man. This Is Us. We're almost done with season 2. Maybe there's 6 seasons. We'll probably squeeze this in too.
I think so highly of Constellation that even if it's a couple years from now, once you tell me you're done with This Is Us, I'm going to remind you.
Okay.
Anyway, and incidentally too, I don't know how much you'll care about this because of things, but what turned me on to this was a quote by Stephen King, I think, that said, I hope I'm not misquoting him. He either said it about this or Night Country, but I don't think he said it about Night Country because that show sucked. He said that the first 2 episodes of this were perfect.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's what, and then I sent that to Jesse, obviously, because she's as big as a Stephen King fan as you are, or maybe even more since she's still current with that, so.
Yeah, very good. Just about perfect. Glowing praise from the new Sci-Fi Thrill.
So you just confirmed what I said then?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah.
The first 2 episodes of Constellation are just about perfect, nail-biting, and believable.
Yep.
Cool.
Agreed. Yeah, and that was similar to Silo in the way that the first episode was just excellent. There was no complications with my thoughts on that. The first episode was just excellent. Second episode was pretty good, but started to get into what it gets into to be problematic in my opinion. But then 3 and later is when it really gets like until you get the end, Yeah. So, All right, and then my last review for the week is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
I'm going to say, I'm glad you watched this so I didn't have to. Maybe you changed my mind. I'm just not interested in watching this at all. I don't know why.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I'm just not even interested in watching this. I don't know why.
Look how cool he looks, like the the classic comic book outfit.
It looks good. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime this in real quick too. Like I said, I'm going to cheat a couple things in. So I do want to talk about X-Men 97. I am caught up on X-Men 97 now. Overall, I'm really enjoying it. I really want to have Patrick around to talk about that, though. That's why I didn't choose to kind of make that the focal show of this week.
I'm hearing good things about that.
Yeah,
which is awesome for the fans, people that were waiting for it.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously better for the fans that weren't waiting for it because like Mike from New York and Johnny, and I think Pat concurs too, that they all think the original X-Men from 1997 is trash. But I think they're all thinking X-Men 97 is pretty good. But me and Ty love both the old and the new. Well, I actually don't know if he's caught up on the new. That's a whole. I need to talk to Ty about that. But anyway, here we've got AK. This is I started to say Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, aka Aquaman 2. Continuing the adventures of what's big dude's name here? I forget the actors.
Oh, Aquaman?
Yeah. Come on.
Well, you put me on the spot. Holy cow. How can I not even remember?
I know I'm like saying that to you.
Yeah,
like,
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, Jason Momoa. Yeah. Okay. Well, here's what I have to say first. And I actually wish Pat were here for this comment too. This puts me in mind of Batman and Robin. Okay.
Good.
This is so bad, okay, like, that I almost enjoyed it. Almost. So technically, in my opinion, Batman and Robin is better than this movie because I, find myself enjoying Batman and Robin every time I see it. But they're both the same garbage.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it is amazing. It is super amazing to me when. Well, and then obviously Batman and Robin is a perfect example. Obviously people dislike Batman and Robin for different reasons, but I think the general consensus for Batman and Robin is it shifted gears dramatically from Batman Returns to Batman Forever, and then of course ultimately Batman and Robin. That they're just complete different movies, but supposed to be the same timeline of the original 1989 Batman and Batman Returns. It's amazing to me when things do that. And this definitely did that. Like Aquaman, did you see the first Aquaman?
Yeah.
It was pretty decent. I mean, I didn't think it was excellent by any stretch, but it was enjoyable. And it was a pretty serious movie. I mean,
it was good enough for. I actually watched it like probably 3 times at this point. I think I've seen it 3 times. So
yeah. So it was definitely something to be respected as, trying to kind of put out a comic book movie for adults, kind of thing. But man, this one just totally goes off the rail with campy ridiculousness, especially Jason Momoa being the biggest culprit. And then they go through this whole sequence too, which just kind of put me in mind of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, where they had Peter Parker carrying his baby around with the, wearing his pink robe and carrying the baby around. So Aquaman has a son, and they go through this whole dad sequence with him and Boba Fett. Boba Fett's his dad. So and then they do this whole talk with the fishes thing, and then there's this kind of buddy cop weirdness with this other character. I can't remember his name. On the poster here is his brother.
Yeah. I don't remember the actor's name.
Yeah, but he's from the first movie. Essentially, he was the bad guy in the first movie, right?
Yeah.
And they had to put him away because he was a bad guy. But then Black Manta is back because he's found the Lost Kingdom, and the Lost Kingdom has demons in it. So he has a skeleton zombie fish army to now, because he's still mad at Aquaman for killing his dad in the first movie, right?
Right.
So now he needs to go break his brother out of Aqua Jail to help him fight Black Manta. And am I saying that right? That's the character's name, right? Black Manta, right?
Yeah.
Okay. To help him fight Black Manta and all of these zombie creatures from the demon world, from the Lost Kingdom, right? So that's the movie in a nutshell right there. You know, Black Man is still angry at Aquaman. He still wants to kill him. Aquaman is currently the king at the beginning of this movie. He's become the king because his brother there, you know, was bad and he had to put his brother away. There was no question that Aquaman was going to be the king. And, you know, Black Man is trying to get back at him. He discovers the Lost Kingdom. The Lost Kingdom gives Black Man not only kind of his purpose back, but more power as well. Then there's this whole hokey like side character guy that is Black Man's right-hand man, but he's this super uber joke. Like, man, like I said, this movie, yeah, he's supposed to be the comic relief in a ridiculously comical movie. It was weird, you know. So, man, yeah, I'm gonna give Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I'm gonna give it a 3. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Wow.
3 bags of popcorn for Aquaman.
Dang. That thing bombed. Oh, there it is. So I have to do this. There we go.
Right. And oh yeah, take the loop off there too, so it doesn't keep playing.
Oh.
Anyway, so yeah, this is real bad. I can't imagine there'll be an Aquaman 3. This movie, this reminds me of, what was the show? Dadgummit. What's the John Cena show on HBO? The DC guys, the DC.
Oh, the starts with a P.
Anyway, whatever that show is, Peacemaker.
Peacemaker, I told you. See,
you're right. I think Peacemaker did the rest of the DC universe a disservice by existing, especially the finale of season 1. See it for yourself; it's unbelievable. But anyway, only if you want to be angry, though. This movie does the same thing too. Like, I like Aquaman a lot in the Justice League, and like we talked about the first Aquaman. This Aquaman does a disservice to the entire DCU. You know?
Yeah.
It makes it. If you watch this movie, there's no going back. I cannot watch Justice League the same now after seeing this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got to wonder when they're writing these movies. You know, they bring in a prerequisite for writing a superhero movie is you've got to have read some of the superhero books.
Right. That should be, yeah.
And there's no reason to come up with a brand new story. If you go back, we've got, you know, how many years of Aquaman history?
50 to 80 years, yeah.
It's kind of cheesy and bad, but there are great Aquaman stories in the books. Pull from there, because you're gonna make the comic book community happy, because we love to see books come to life on the screen.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be mad that all they're doing is copying this. We want that.
Yeah.
And then the people that aren't into comic books, that are into the movies, it's going to be new for them.
Yeah.
And it's already been proven through history that this is a good storyline that everybody liked.
Yeah.
There you go. The formula is right there.
Yeah, it's a good way to put that. You know what I think? You know what else I think is wrong with we talked about this recently because of your review of Batman and Superman Battle of the Super Sons, which is a great animated feature about how it seems like, you know, DC has the animated features, you know, on point, but the live action are garbage. And I think, you know, part of the problem is they try to be like Marvel. Marvel does a great, I think everyone will agree with this, at least prior to the last, phase 4 or whatever, phase 5, whatever we're currently in, that they had a great mix of serious and great story with comedic relief, like you were saying. But DC does not know how to do that well. I felt like they were trying to be funny. You know, they're trying to match, you know, Marvel's success with that balance of humor, but they're way off with that balance. You know what I mean? I think that might be what it is, you know?
Yep.
But anyway.
Well, yeah, there you go. That's what I thought.
Yeah. So sorry about a crappy return to the what Kevin watched. Aside from Constellations,
Constellation, yeah.
yeah, don't bother with Aquaman. Don't bother with Halo Season 2. Just watch the last 15 minutes of the final episode, and you'll be happy, I think, going into Season 3. If I don't even know if it's been approved for a Season 3 or not yet. And then Dream Scenario, just check that out if you're bored one day. See, it's either going to grab you, it's either going to lose you or grab you in the first 20 minutes. That's for sure.
Yeah, it sounds fascinating. I'm all aboard.
That's a perfect word. See, Mike, that's why you're so good at these like articulations like that. Fascinating is a perfect way to put Dream Scenario. That's why. And if I wasn't a Nick Cage, such a big Nick Cage fan, I don't know if I'd have survived, because it's not exactly my cup of tea. From talking about the way that movie is, me, that's the kind of movie I'd check out on,
Right.
But
I'm all aboard on those.
Yeah, it might be more up your alley. Yeah, so we'll see. So, all right. So we ready to see your picks for this upcoming week? Finally getting back to that as well.
The new pick 3.
Yeah, the new pick 3.
Yep.
All right. I think you actually mentioned that the voting in this one was awe-inspiring too.
Yeah.
We don't get into the amount of voters every week, but we do get into some. So that's why we just describe all our votes with percentages. But without giving the exact details, the voting on this week was crazy, right?
Yeah, it was remarkable.
Remarkable. Nice.
What's remarkable is a funny word, because if you say, "Oh, it's remarkable," that means you can have remarks about it, but everybody assumes that it's all positive.
Right, that is true.
Remarkable. Oh, a good way. No.
Right.
They can be bad remarks.
Anyway. All right, what we got?
All right. Here we go. Ghost Rider Final Vengeance number 2, Juan Ferreira. Ferreira. These names. World's Finest 26, Dan Mora. Wonder Woman number 8, Julian Tedesco. Moon Man number 2, Erica D'Urso. Nightwing number 113, Bruno Redondo. Superman 13, Lee Bermejo. Spectacular Spider-Man number 2, Will Sliney. Catwoman 64, Jim Lee. John Constantine Hellblazer number 4, Mario Levitt. And Spider-Woman number 6, Lionel Francis Yu.
I think I kind of tripped you up again. When did you say these are coming out this week and stuff?
I didn't. I jumped right into it. I forgot.
Yeah, right. That's my fault.
I chose from a list of 500 covers, and these all hit the shelf Wednesday, April 17th.
All right. Yeah, actually, that's something else I forgot to mention. Like I said, there's so much on my mind about what Kevin watched. I'm going to sneak this into the middle of your pick 3 because it's related. I followed your what Mike watched advice from the April Fool's show about Station 11. Mm-hmm. And one thing I was thinking about with these covers is that Moon Man cover kind of reminds you of the Station 11 cover a bit, right? I mean, not really, but kind of. Mm-hmm. Are you tracking with me a little bit on that?
Oh, yeah. From the angle of the person.
Yeah.
So
stay tuned for that, people, too. My next What Kevin Watched will involve the conclusion, in my opinion, of the entire season of Station 11, because Mike's review got me interested in watching that, and I'm halfway now. I think you said there are 10 episodes in that season, so I've watched 5 of those episodes, so I've got a lot to say about Station 11 too, and The Leftovers, which is from 2014. It went 3 seasons. I'm watching that too. So I got a lot going on. So I'm ready for like the next month of what Kevin watches. But anyway, so here we are. So I love that Moon Man cover though. Is that a is it supposed to be a virgin or was it kind of an illustration? Did you have a hard time finding that cover?
No, it's I think that's that. Is that the A cover? I think it might be the A cover. It's just they didn't have a graphic with the trade dress on it.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking. Okay, gotcha.
I was kind of worried about that because if we're all looking at it, you don't know what book it is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was sending you my picks. And speaking of DC trash, you know what that Wonder Woman cover reminds you of, right?
I don't.
Wonder Woman 1984, aka Wonder Woman 2, another piece of garbage output, live action from the DC universe. That's the outfit that Gal Gadot donned in that movie as well. So that cover reminded me of that.
I didn't finish that movie.
Oh, you didn't want to. It just got worse as it went along, in my opinion.
I guess I watched the good part then, the beginning.
yeah, exactly. Maybe that first mall scene was decent at best, but anyway. So, see, I thought this was a pretty good list, except for the Wonder Woman giving me flashbacks.
Right.
I thought it was a pretty nice list. What did you think, Pat? Oh, never mind.
Oh, Pat, dang it.
What did you think of yourself this week, Mike?
Yeah, I liked it. The Spider Woman I like a lot. What's funny? What I like about the Spider Woman cover is the yellow. It caught me. It's almost like you're looking at the background in some yellow, tinted sunglasses. That's how bright it is. So, and I like Francis Hugh's work.
Gotcha.
And then I like the simplicity of the Constantine.
Yeah,
it's just typical great Constantine pose. And so
I think Ayla may have mentioned, or maybe it was Jesse, that did we cover that Nightwing cover somewhere else, or did we cover a Nightwing cover that was very similar with it? Because she thought we saw that in the pick 3 before. What say you on that?
I highlighted it on our previews for the cover section.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
My favorite part of that whole book is the bottom panels where he's jumping through, kicking that thug.
Or it shrinks it down and then just got him kicking the thug in the face.
Yeah. I thought that was cool.
I love the humor of the World's Finest. Did you say you're reading the World's Finest?
No, Patrick is. I wish that I was, because I was hearing that it's, it was the best book in DC.
Okay.
And Dan Moore's artwork, I love his work, but it was just when it came out, it was just another, I think, $4.99 book that I couldn't add to my list. So,
have you heard if that cover is kind of indicative of what the story's kind of like? Is it kind of tongue in cheeky, kind of a little bit, or is that just kind of a oddball cover for a serious series?
I think it's oddball because of the two characters,
Yeah.
And it's so funny. Mark, he saw Batmite. He'd never seen him before.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he is so awesome.
Did you write down Mr. Mixelplick's name and ask him to say it? See if he could pronounce it?
No, I didn't.
That would have been a good test for for the youth of today.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I wanted to ask was, are you familiar with what's going on in Catwoman? Why is that Batman look so distorted and evil?
Yeah, well, I don't think that has anything to do with the book. That's the Jim Lee cover. Remember, I think I touched on that in the previews also, where he did the sketches for during COVID and auctioned those off to help the brick and mortar stores. And I think at the time when I covered those, there wasn't a color version available. And so that's why this one's on here.
So you're saying your speculation is that it's totally non-related to the interior of the book at all?
Yeah, I'd lay $100 that it isn't, because this was drawn years ago.
Okay, gotcha.
This month they're doing that Jim Lee
artist spotlight or whatever.
Spotlight, there you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And Oh, seriously, the Libramejo Superman. I just love it. I think it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's pretty
just
great. I feel
feel-
like that S is something's a little off with that S for me. I mean, I still love the cover, but I feel like something's a little off with that S. Does it seem oddly large to you? Like it's too big or something?
It doesn't to me. I didn't notice it at all being out of proportion or anything.
Well, scrutinize it a little bit right now, doesn't it? It seems to go from what's that shoulder line to shoulder line. You know, doesn't it? You know, doesn't it?
I think it's kind of like when Batman's cowl is drawn, the ears are longer on some.
So it's just an artist.
Yeah, I think it's just
prerogative. Yeah,
and for that one, it's more. Bermejo stuff always is appealing to me, but it's also just the feeling of that cover. It's like I can almost feel the air up there in the sun. I don't know. It's a weird thing. So as soon as I saw it, it really put me in the moment there. I was like, oh man, I can feel that cover. So.
Yeah. And the last question I got for you is I cannot figure for the life of me what's going on with that Ghost Rider cover. Like perspectively, like what am I looking at?
I think he's holding he's like dual wielding some guns pointed right at you, or a gun. I think it's two guns he's holding together.
Okay, that's what I kind of thought too, right? But look at the outer edges of that gun / guns.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see his hands, arms.
They're right in front of it's behind them, I guess.
They look like octopus.
Yeah, I think his hands are hidden behind the guns. It's a perspective thing. I don't know.
All right, that one looked off for me too. But I'll reveal whether I voted for it or not once we see who the top 3 are. We don't want to give anything away, so
Right.
What you got?
All right, so we'll start off with third place. We've got Nightwing.
Nice
here with the Bruno Redondo. As I said, he's been on our pick 3 list so many times because his covers are so clever.
Yeah.
Just like nothing you've seen.
Yeah, very cool. I didn't vote for this one, but yeah, I thought it was definitely in the running. How about you? Did you vote for this one?
Yeah, I voted for this one.
Okay.
I almost had to. I highlighted it months ago.
Are you going to grab it because of just the cover? Or are you still getting the Nightwing run? Or did you
No, I stopped getting Nightwing probably about 6 or 7 issues ago. $4.99. I draw the line. What was DC's thing? We draw the line at $2.99. Well, here they are at $4.99. I drew the line at $3.99. DC.
Yeah.
The only books I get from DC are Batman Detective, and I get those because out of habit, and they're Batman, so I'll pay the extra. But I'm done with a lot of these $4.99 books, Marvel included.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It is tough.
They priced me right on out.
I feel like they're doing that with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Especially, right. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but it's worth mentioning regularly. I mean, if you're a kid, how you affording $5 cover price books? You know.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you how Mark I buy them for him.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm buying him a $4.99 book, guess what? I'm not getting.
Imagine when we were kids, we didn't have dads that were into the stuff we were into. Right. We just had to scrape together the money on our own, and we had a tough time at 75 cents.
75 cents, yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's like our lunch money. Literally. It was our lunch money.
Yeah.
Times have changed, right?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. It was kind of a tricky week. So also third, we have Wonder Woman #8, William Tedesco.
Okay, contrary to what I said about hating Wonder Woman 84, I voted for this because it's still cool. It's still pretty cool cover.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Which prior to watching Wonder Woman 84, and this is probably why I was so bitter towards how poor and how much I disliked Wonder Woman 84 was because it has Pedro Pascal in it. So I was excited for that. I loved this outfit looked so cool in the previews. It was obviously an 80s themed kind of movie happening. And then I thought Cheetah looked great in Wonder Woman 84. So I thought this costume was great. So that's why I voted for this cover anyway, even though I don't like the movie. But
Right. You can separate the movie.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. I was surprised that this one did so well. I voted for it, and I think
Okay.
oh yeah, I think you voted for it too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, not this one. The next one I'm getting ready to show you.
Oh, the next one. Okay.
Yeah. All right. In second place,
Oh, yeah.
John Constantine, Hellblazer, Dead in America. What is that? Number 2? Number 4. Jeez.
Geez, number 4. I hadn't even heard of that yet.
Yeah, no.
Man, it's tough. You know, we talk about this time of year for us. It's I'm not keeping up with stuff. I'm too focused on my main job right now, you know. But yeah, it's a pretty cool cover. Yeah. I thought it was kind of trying to be symbolic too, with the angel with the sword down with Constantine being right there too. Did you think that?
I didn't, but yeah, I mean, it's got to have some symbolism there.
Yeah. This is one I definitely would like to pick up and check out. Because I'm kind of assuming with it having that subtitle, "Dead in America," this might be a limited series too. Do you know?
I think it is. It's a black label book, and those are usually limited series. So it's probably 4 issues.
Yeah.
And I think this is regular size. It's not one of the oversized black label books. I wonder what.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even think about that. I was thinking all black label were oversized. They have regular size black labels.
Yeah, because this is a $4.99 cover, and this is the B cover. The oversized I think are $6.99 maybe.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, let me give you a drum roll for number 1. You ready?
Yep. Number 1, Superman, Liebermejo. Awesome.
Yeah, that was a little. I'd say that was a little predictable. That's what I would have predicted. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he was on Detective, man, he dominated whenever we ran his covers on Pick 3.
Yeah, he definitely seems to be an Exceller favorite. So, yeah.
Yep. I think this is the last issue of Superman that he's doing a cover for. So, and for, budgeting reasons, I was getting them. Budgeting reasons, I ended up cutting them because I was getting them just for the cover. I'm trying not to do that. And then after seeing this, I'm like, dang it, man. I would have ordered that.
Well, this is a perfect candidate for a dollar bin later,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know exactly. Maybe the cover might keep it from getting into dollar bins, but Superman is always notoriously no value books,
right? Yeah, you can always find them in the back issue bins for dollars. So there you have it. Go get them.
Yep.
Go get all 10. Oh, dang. You know what I just noticed?
What?
It's all Marvel and DC except for Moon Man. It's the only Image book. DC and Marvel heavy this week.
Yeah, I don't think about that too much. Whether so you're saying usually it's a better mix. It's got a Titan or an Image or whatever,
Yeah, I think usually there's a couple. It seemed like, it says 500. There were 500 covers, but it just seemed like there weren't a lot of good covers. I think sometimes Dynamite puts out, like 20 Elvira covers and 30 Vampirella covers, and they don't. Those books won't make my list. I selectively leave certain themed books off, but so it was slim pickings.
All right. I guess we want to get into talking about some books we read.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see. I think Rabbit is one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't know whether that's related to your teaser or not, but I hope so. I put that together because of the whole fog thing. We been talking about, who knows?
Yeah, you don't know. We'll find out.
Do you remember that movie, Rabbit?
I remember the title. I don't recall.
It's creepy.
I'm gonna have to look for that. Is that an 80s?
It's either late 70s or early 80s.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like it's right up my alley.
I think it was predicting the 2020 pandemic. I'm not sure, but something. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm gonna look for it.
All right, I read something that I've been meaning to get to for a while because this holds a special place in my heart. Ronin, book 2. If anybody that's familiar with our show, I've said it many times over the past 127 episodes of our show, how much I love the original Ronin by Frank Miller.
Mm-hmm.
It came out in the 80s. So I've been looking forward to this Ronin book 2. Don't know, who knows why you pick the books you read and you don't read the others, but for whatever reason, I never got around to it. But then I'm finally like, and I'm getting to it. So this is Ronin book 2, number 1, by Frank Miller and Philip Tan, and I'm not sure of Henrique's first name, but
yeah, I love the look that Philip Tan's got here because he's kind of channeling that Frank Miller style, but kind of just a cleaner version of it. Looks great.
Man, this is I say it all the time too, man. You guys put my thoughts into words better than I can, because that's a perfect way to put it, because I actually for a minute was a little confused. I'm like loving the art as I'm reading the book, and I'm thinking this looks like the hokey Frank Miller, the current Frank Miller style that's on the covers that everybody keeps bashing so much. But it's not. It's good. It's
Frank Miller, but good.
Right. Exactly.
Like
so I had to, like I said, I had to refer back to the beginning to see if it was Frank, and which, because the question I was having in my head is why does this look so good inside, but the covers I'm not enjoying, So I mean, not this cover. Obviously, this cover is Philip Tan, but I'm referring to Frank's covers he's done for Wolverine and whatever the other ones we've seen that people are Captain America, stuff. But anyway, so this book seems to, as you can imagine, I'm sure you can relate to this. That it made me want to go back and read the original Ronin again, because of course I can't remember how it specifically ended. But I get the impression from this book that it seems to pick up right where the first Ronin ended. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And number 1, this is a very easy read. First of all, too, it kind of, I think most pages are like big splash pages, one picture, and then kind of talking. Most of them actually in this issue are thought bubbles, just kind of splattered throughout the splash page, that kind of book. So it's not very wordy. Art's big, and I love all the art in this. It's black and white. Well, I guess we talked about this recently on shows. What's it called when you've got black and white with this red mix or whatever? Remember, I think
Marvel calls it black, white, and red, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's a term for
Yeah,
it.
it's not Pat figured out what the specific term
Yeah.
was. But anyway, so it's essentially black and white.
Mhm.
And like I said, it seems to continue from the ending of the first Ronin, where the Ronin beat the big baddie demon, and this kid. Well, is that a kid on her back? No, you don't even see it. Okay, so this lady with the sword in this issue is carrying a kid around on her back, and it's kind of like old samurai style, kind of baby ride on, like wicker basket with a baby in it kind of thing. And this issue kind of focuses on her just kind of journeying through this kind of minimalistic landscape that really kind of has no story. She's just kind of reminiscing to herself in this issue for the most part, as to what the conditions of the world she's in. And it's basically garbage. There's just evil happening everywhere. People are dying everywhere. But since she's carrying her baby, she can't stop and help them. But then this big demon, which you looking at this cover on the back, on the right-hand corner in the back there, this big demon shows up and basically wants to recruit her and her baby. And I say, I'm maybe I shouldn't say baby. It's a toddler, maybe like I would say maybe 3 or 4. And so this demon wants to recruit her and her baby to join evil forces. And of course, it's the same old demon threat that if you join forces with me, you'll live a life of eternal glory and bliss. And if you defy me, you'll suffer eternally in hell or whatever, that kind of, same old story, right?
That's the deal.
Yeah, but she's having none of it, Mike. She's having none of it. She's just trying to raise her kid. And I get the impression, this is what I started to say, and I cut myself off. I get the impression the kid is the Ronin from the original Ronin's son.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So he's going to be a real bad, but little guy, right? And as soon as you're thinking that, that actually comes to fruition in the second half of this issue. Like I said, the first half, it's just her kind of wandering around, thinking about how horrible this world is and all the evil, blah, blah, blah. Second half, she meets up with the demon and she's fighting him. And she's kind of, making progress, but he's like a giant demon. So, he's no chump. He's not going down with, a few slices of her blade. She has to wait until he's vulnerable and he's screaming at her. He opens his mouth and he's like screaming at her. And you know what she does, Mike?
Sticks the sword in his throat.
Close, but no cigar. She throws the baby in his mouth.
Oh, that was going to be my second guess. Oh, yeah.
So then, of course, the baby has a little samurai, little toddler samurai sword.
Toddler sword.
So now he's inside the demon,
right,
slicing away, right? So she's got it on the outside, he's got it on the inside. Ultimately, they take this demon down. I think this is just a kind of an introductory story to introduce you to these two characters, which I sure hope this gets deeper, because this seems like it's kind of like, could put you in mind of like, how Guardians of the Galaxy, it'll kind of set you up there in a battle. They've got a major event happening in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it has nothing to do with the rest of the movie, though.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of like what was happening here, just so we could see that she is awesome
and crazy enough to throw a toddler into a demon's mouth.
Yes. She is the throw her baby to the wolves kind of mom. That's her parenting style. But the baby, obviously, toddler does not let you down. As soon as he beats him, he comes out all looking like you know, like this, like a adult male, you know, he's like super tough, you know, but the art's really good to where you're still looking at him like he's like 4, but he's looking like he can kick a demon's butt, you know, the way that art is, you know, so.
Yeah. Well, I definitely regret not picking this series.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned for the rest. And I guess did this end at 5 issues?
I don't know. I didn't even, it was another one of those things, you know, with Miller coming out with the Frank Miller universe thing, Frank Miller Presents. And I couldn't add another book to my list, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've actually only got the first, well, I've got the Ash Can, which I couldn't decide. If you were me and you had decided you want to read this, should I have read the Ash Can before this?
I probably would have, because I think the Ash Can had 2 stories in it.
Oh, okay.
And I think it probably just gave you a 3 or 4 page, you know,
yeah,
behind the scenes, or it's probably not important, but
maybe made this cooler. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm definitely going to read that next.
Yeah.
I'll read the Ash Cannon #2 for next week. But yeah, I only have the Ash Cannon then 1 through 3. So yeah, I've got to pick up, and I know there's at least 5. I've seen up to 5. So I think it ends there, but I'm not sure about that either. But yeah, I'll give this a definite get it. I think for, you know, Ronin / Frank Miller / comic book fans in general, it's fun, and being a big original Ronin fan, I do remember when I read it before that I definitely fell more in love with it as it went along. Like it's kind of a story builder. I mean, obviously all good stories should kind of be that way, but for some reason, when I think about the original Ronin, I do think about how it was like, okay. Oh, wow. Oh man, it was epic by the end, you know, that kind of thing, you know? So, you know, this has the same feel of that for me. Of course, you know, obviously it's Frank Miller. So, you know, and he wrote it, he did the layouts, and, you know, I think he does some art. I'm not exactly sure where that is, but Philip Dan definitely seems to be the focused artist, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so get it.
Yeah.
Frank Miller's Ronin, book 2, #1. Get it.
I'm gonna get it.
All right, what you got?
All right. We're gonna start with this. Rabies, a virus generally spread through the saliva of infected mammals. The rabies virus is most often transmitted through a scratch or bite. Animals most likely to transmit rabies in the United States include bats, coyotes, foxes, raccoons, and skunks. Symptoms include fever, headache, excess salivation, muscle spasms, paralysis, and mental confusion. Once symptoms appear, the disease is nearly always fatal. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, that's the craziest part about that I've always thought about with rabies is that I've heard that, obviously everything you said, but focusing on the last part of that, it's like when symptoms are visible, that's when there's a point of no return. Yeah. Right. It's crazy.
All right. So that is a page out of Feral #1.
Oh, jeez.
This is.
Hold on. I thought this was a like a fun book. I didn't.
Well,
that's not a good lead in for a fun book.
Yep. Tony Fleece and Trish Forstner, who we all know from Stray Dogs, which was a murder mystery book from the view of dogs. I prefer dogs over cats. I like cats. I like other people's cats. I won't own a cat again. I've owned them. I've had cats with them. So I was right out of the gate, Tony Fleece, Trish Forstner, they're a powerhouse of a team. I love their storytelling because it's got this, great Disney look to it, but with that horror movie theme. And, all the variants are horror movie poster homages, which is great.
Yeah, I love those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, what this one is, I love this. This is like 3 or 4 pages in. So we've got 3 cats. They're in an animal control truck. That's what it opens up, and they're kind of talking to each other. The truck crashes because it's trying to avoid this rabid fox that's on the road. And there you go. You know, you all know because you listen to our show. I love foxes.
Yeah, yeah.
Not a fan of a rabid fox in real life, but I love foxes. So the doors break open and the cats are all free. Now, of the three, we've got Elsie and Patch. All three of these cats came from the same home. We don't know why yet. So Elsie and Patch, they're together, but their companion, this is where it's kind of silly. They refer to him as Lord, but his full name is Lord Fluffy Britches, which is
Okay.
which is silly, but that's a great cat name. Again,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
it's a cat. People name their cats funny things like that.
Yeah.
Dog people name their cats, or dogs. One of my favorite dog names out there, and this is a hat tip to Johnny and his wife, is Jerry. I love Jerry. Jerry loves pizza. I love Jerry's name.
Yeah, that's a great name. That is a great name.
So back to this though. So the two of them are together, but Lord is missing. And the two animal control men that were driving and riding in the truck, they didn't make it. They didn't survive the crash. And the first encounter, so it's, these are domesticated house cats, and now they're out in the woods, and bam, look at that. Of course, they're going to run into a rabid raccoon.
Oh,
Which, man, I love that raccoon. He looks so awesome. Oh, you know what I'm just realizing?
What?
I'm missing a picture.
Oh,
I had a picture of the foxes, my favorites. So they run into this rabid raccoon, and then they're actually saved. They kind of tussle with this raccoon, but they're saved by three rabid foxes, and they end up getting taken out because one of the drivers in the truck falls out of a tree. He got thrown into the tree, falls out of the tree and lands on him. So it takes the foxes out, and they end up finding Lord Fluffy Britches. I hope I don't have to say that ever again.
Every time you say it, it's funny.
Yeah. So they end up finding them, and they're all together. But what's kind of interesting is that which one was it? One of them, Elsie, doesn't really matter, seems to have a little scratch on her paw from her tussle with this raccoon here. So it's one of those things, it's all great. It's kind of like a zombie film with rabies, and there, one of our first main characters has a scratch from the raccoon, as we just read. Rabies can be spread by scratches, so we think one of our heroes of the book already has a scratch that they're going to hide from the other ones.
So does that rabies explanation, that was on the front page of this comic, right?
Actually, no, it's in the back. It's like on the last page of the book almost.
Oh, okay. Because I'm wondering, is it the same for, it must be different for animals than it is for humans then, because they seem to have symptoms every time you see them with rabies, you know what I mean? So it's like, they must be able to survive with the symptoms longer or something, you know what I mean?
Well, I think once the symptoms are shown, then it's like the clock is ticking even faster.
Oh,
I think the demise is days away, maybe, or something like that.
But they can still do some damage in the meantime. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So already out of the gate, this is a get it. It's a must-have if you're a fan of Stray Dogs, because I think you'll love this as well. The art is great. Trish is fantastic. I'm already looking to buy the sketch cover because, as with Stray Dogs, my favorite character in Stray Dogs was Earl. He was the hero dog of the book for me. So when I met her in Baltimore, I asked her to give me a little sketch there. I'm going to do the same thing for Farrell, but I'll see if she'll, I don't care about cats. I'll see if she'll draw a rabid fox on there for me.
Okay. That'd be cool. Yeah, I wish you had those rabid fox pics.
Yeah.
You said there was 3 rabid and explain that a little. Well, I don't know how deep you want to go into, but so you said 3 rabid foxes saved the cat from the rabid raccoon. Why are the rabid foxes against the rabid raccoon?
Because they're crazy. They have rabies. They're just like, they're seeing a fight and they're just going to jump into it and bite stuff.
So the cat just luckily stays out of it, basically? They
Oh, no, then they go to attack the cat.
Ah,
But like I said, the one of the riders from the truck, he was thrown into a tree. He falls down and just so happens to land right on him. Here we go. There's the foxes, and that's the middle one cracks me up because that's the leg of the raccoon.
oh man. So basically, actually, they didn't intentionally. So the way you said it, I thought they intentionally saved the cat, but it was just incidental. They were just going at the raccoon, which gave the cat time to get away, basically.
Exactly.
Right? Oh,
Yep.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So
it was just an incidental saving. It wasn't intentional. Got it. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. It was
fun. It was great. And what's so funny, hopefully they can keep it going. It's listed as an ongoing. Stray Dogs was a limited series. I assumed this was going to be a limited series too, but it's listed as ongoing. So
wow,
I don't know how they're going to pull that off. But great. So yeah, this is a get it, a must have if you're a fan of Stray Dogs. I think you'll love it.
Very nice. Very nice. Have you seen those videos on the internet of foxes attacking people?
No.
Yeah, they're like, and I shouldn't say there's not like this. I haven't seen a lot of them, but I've seen a couple where it's like, yeah, and they're so small, so people are like able to fend them off, you know. But I'm sure their legs are probably scratched to heck or whatever, you know. But yeah, foxes can be no joke.
Well, some raccoons too.
Yeah,
raccoons attacking people, and holy cow, how do you fight one of those things? You can't just punch it like a kangaroo, you know.
Yeah, you better make sure you at least stay on your feet. That's for sure.
Yeah, right. Be gnawing on your neck.
Exactly.
I think there's a Norm Macdonald joke about little dogs being vicious. Anyway.
All right, man. So we've got no Horizon, as we said at the beginning of the show. Unfortunately, Pat's still dealing with things. Hopefully, I guess we haven't heard otherwise. We should have him back next week. We'll definitely have Karen back next week.
Yep.
We'll get back to a regular show there, but let's just wrap up this short show by us.
Yeah.
Hey, Karen stopped in. She's checking out the show, and of course, look, Mike, we've both been here this entire show, but without Karen here, we failed. She's like, "Where's your banner?" We haven't put a banner up the entire show.
Yeah.
Thanks, Karen. See, we need you.
Well, obviously, we are terrible multitaskers.
We are.
I forgot to even take notes.
Well, I never take notes, so that's a perfect lead for me then. I just want to say, everyone, this is my conclusion. Be aware, if you're watching a show on Apple TV, their formula seems to be to take you for a ride. You might not think you're liking it all, but once it's over, you're going to look back and think it's awesome.
Yeah.
See the latest Constellations on Apple TV.
Yep. And yeah, it seems like Halo season 3, it's going to be episode 1, episode 2, the last 10 minutes of episode 10 or whatever.
Right.
It's the viewing order.
No, that's season 2. That's season 2. Season 3 is TBD. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, no matter how much you thought you hated Batman and Robin, do not underestimate, apparently, people's love for Batman and Robin, because Aquaman 2, in my opinion, is trying to duplicate that experience. So
exactly. Yeah, I don't have much else.
All right, well, check out Frank Miller's Ronin Book 2 and Feral, both getting positive reviews today. And pick yourself up some Liber Mayho Superman. It's your last shot, I guess. this week, right?
Yep. Last issue for Libra Mayo, not the last issue of Superman.
Yeah. The last issue that he's doing. Did he do the interior or just the covers?
Just the covers. Those are the B covers, the cardstock covers.
Okay. And speaking of banners, I didn't change any dates on any of this, so we'll see how this goes. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified of everything we post. Also, comment your thoughts, questions, and suggestions below. And please subscribe to Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space on Spotify for podcasters or many other podcast providers, and listen to an edited podcast of this awesome live stream on Spotify that'll be posted no later than it's Wednesday. It's Tuesday on the scroll, but it's Wednesday. And then follow Exceller Comics on Facebook, Instagram, and or X, aka Twitter, and follow Exceller_Comics on TikTok and whatnot. And then check out what we have to offer on eBay at Exceller_Comics and in our shop at excellercomics.com. You can find the shop tab at the top of the homepage of excellercomics.com. And actually, I skipped over this, but I'm going to go back because this is hilarious. This happens to me every time, Mike. Watch our shows on the Whatnot app. You can it says here you can bookmark one of our shows right now to get notified when all the ridiculous deals will be offered. This is what's funny about this, Mike, and this is why I brought this up. How many times over the last, what have we been doing this for over 2 years now? Mm-hmm. Have I said, as soon as I make a change and I say something about that change, then that just totally, it just like, it doesn't even go one time. And it's exactly what happened. I was talking up Max's magic shows. Mm-hmm. Because I've kind of taken a break from Whatnot shows personally, that Max still had the magic shows and he's doing a good job with that. And then Max, being a Marine, you know, of course, the government tells him where to go and what to do. So he's out of there.
Well, he does it.
So we literally haven't had one Whatnot show since I've said that. And I don't think there's any Whatnot shows scheduled now. That's why I didn't want to put that banner up at all. So there's nothing to bookmark now. Exceller Comics will be back to Whatnot at some point. Who knows when. But you can help support the show aside from just buying comics and other stuff. You can help support the show and everything we do and plan to do through Patreon at patreon.com/excellercomics. We'd really appreciate that. And then I'm just putting this up too because it's applicable but wrong. Watch Cover Combat 8's finale. This coming Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The voting for the latest round, which is round 6, I think, the finals, you can still vote until tomorrow.
Yep.
You can vote on the last Cover Combat YouTube video or the Facebook post. There's only 2 covers. This is the final matchup. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe it is Wonder Woman and Batman Harley Quinn.
That's it.
Go there, vote which one you want to win, and check out a great finale on Monday to see who the current Cover Combat champ will be. And then watch our next live stream on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram next Saturday. That'll be April 20th at 8:30 a.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back to a full house, be back to a show you're used to. And I do believe that is going to be our next episode or next segment of the previews. So that'll be fun. And then lastly, keep up with everything Exceller has planned with the newly added Karen's Calendar feature. That's with 2 Ks. That's located at the top of our homepage at excellercomics.com. Oh, okay, that'll do it, Mike.
That's a lot.
That's pretty good being short-staffed. That's a good show, Mike. Good job.
Yeah, it's good. We're awesome.
I'm just going to go down to that.
That.
All right, you got anything else, Mike?
No, I'm good.
All right, it's been fun, and thanks everybody for checking us out. And until next time, do not forget, appreciating great art is awesome, and reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Exceller out.